Hello and welcome to the Great North Gardener. Today we're diving into the world of perennial vegetables. Those awesome plants that keep on giving year after year. Some veggies can be a bit like that mate who never leaves after a party. They overstay their welcome and spread like wildfire. But don't worry, we've got you covered. We'll be looking at some brilliant options that know how to behave themselves in the garden. For those that don't, we'll show you how to keep them in check with a bit of clever potting. So if you're ready to transform your garden into a sustainable veggie paradise, grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's get growing. First up, we've got asparagus, the king of perennial veggies. This elegant plant is surprisingly low maintenance. Once established, it rewards you for up to 20 years. Give it a sunny spot with well-drained soil. Plant crowns a foot apart and be patient. Harvest in spring when spears are 6 to 8 inches tall. Asparagus is a real treat: grill, roast, or add to risottos. Next up, let's talk about rhubarb, a plant that proves that tart can be totally tasty. This beauty thrives in cooler climates and will brighten up your garden with its vibrant red stalks. Rhubarb is another easygoing perennial that prefers a sunny spot and well-drained soil. Plant crowns in early spring or autumn. From crumbles to pies to jams, rhubarb adds a unique tangy twist to any recipe. Just be sure to leave some stalks behind each year so the plant can keep on growing strong. So if you're looking for a low-maintenance perennial that brings a burst of flavor and color to your garden, rhubarb is the one for you. If you're after a veggie that's both delicious and a bit of a showstopper, then artichoke is your new best friend. This plant is like the architectural masterpiece of the vegetable garden, with its towering stalks and stunning globe-shaped flower buds. Artichokes love a sunny spot and fertile, well-drained soil. Give them plenty of space to grow. About 3 feet apart is ideal. When the buds are nice and plump, carefully cut them off the stalk, leaving a few inches of stem attached. You can even eat the hearts of the artichoke flowers. So if you're ready to add a touch of drama and deliciousness to your garden, give artichokes a try. Right, let's spice things up a bit with horseradish. This plant is not for the faint of heart. Its flavor is seriously potent. If you're a fan of a good kick, then horseradish is about to become your new best mate. Grow it in a pot to prevent it from taking over your garden. Choose a large container with good drainage, fill it with rich soil, and plant your horseradish root cutting. Harvest in autumn after the leaves die back. Great fresh for a fiery punch in sauces and dips. Just be warned, a little goes a long way. So if you're ready for serious flavor, give horseradish a go. Let's move on to a perennial that's a bit of a hidden gem: sorrel. This leafy green is like the zestier cousin of spinach, adding a delightful tang to salads, soups, and sauces. The best thing about sorrel? You can harvest the leaves throughout the growing season. Use the fresh leaves to add a citrusy kick to salads, soups, or sauces. Now let's talk about Jerusalem artichoke, a veggie that's often misunderstood but utterly delicious. Despite its name, it's a member of the sunflower family. These knobbly tubers are packed with flavor. They have a nutty, slightly sweet taste. Grow them in a pot to control their spread. Plant in spring with plenty of sunshine and water. Harvest in autumn for a unique nutty veggie. Next up, we've got watercress, a peppery little plant that's super easy to grow. You can grow it in soil or just plain water. If you've got a pond or stream, watercress will thrive there. Or grow it in containers, self-watering planters, or a bowl on your windowsill. It's packed with vitamins and minerals. Add it to salads, soups, or make a zesty pesto, and you can harvest it all year round. Watercress is a low-maintenance, super healthy veggie you can grow anywhere. Let me introduce you to Good King Henry, a leafy green that's got a bit of a royal history. This plant was a staple in medieval gardens, and for good reason. It's incredibly nutritious and can be used in much the same way as spinach. Good King Henry is a doddle to grow. It's happy in sun or partial shade and tolerates most soil types. Give it about a foot of space between plants. The leaves have a mild, spinach-like flavor and can be eaten raw in salads or cooked like spinach. You can even eat the young shoots like asparagus. So, if you're looking for a nutritious, easy-to-grow leafy green with a touch of historical charm, give Good King Henry a try. Alright, let's head to the coast and talk about sea kale, a hardy perennial that's as tough as it is tasty. As you can guess from its name, sea kale originates from coastal regions and can handle a bit of salty air, making it a great choice for seaside gardens. This plant is a bit of a looker too, with its blue-green leaves and delicate white flowers. It prefers a sunny spot and well-drained soil. You can eat the young shoots of sea kale, much like asparagus. Blanch them and serve them with a knob of butter or a drizzle of olive oil for a real treat. So if you're looking for a unique, hardy perennial that can handle a bit of coastal weather, sea kale is definitely worth considering. Last but not least, we've got lovage, a herb that's often overlooked but deserves a prime spot in every garden. This plant is like celery's cooler, more aromatic cousin, adding a wonderful depth of flavor to soups, stews, and sauces. Lovage is a breeze to grow. It's happy in sun or partial shade and prefers moist, well-drained soil. It's a tall plant, so give it plenty of space to grow. Use the leaves of lovage to add a celery-like flavor with hints of parsley and anise to your culinary creations. You can even eat the stems and seeds. So if you're looking for a flavor-packed herb that's easy to grow and incredibly versatile, give lovage a try. So, there you have it, 10 amazing perennial vegetables that will keep on giving year after year. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, these plants are a brilliant way to create a sustainable and delicious garden. Remember to choose the right plants for your space and growing conditions, and don't be afraid to experiment. Which perennial veggies are you most excited to try? Let us know. And while you're at it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to The Great North Gardener for more gardening tips, tricks, and inspiration. Happy gardening. Hello and welcome to The Great North Gardener. Here you can find help in starting and creating a garden for your home. It's amazing to think that we can grow delicious food right from our windows, balconies, or backyards. In this channel, we'll explore the wonderful world of gardening, learn about different plants that are easy to grow, and discover the many benefits they bring to our lives. So, whether you're a seasoned green thumb or just starting out, join me on this exciting journey as we transform our outdoor spaces into thriving food oases. Let's get started. Let's be real. There's nothing quite like biting into a juicy tomato or a crisp lettuce leaf that was just picked from your garden. Growing your own food means ultimate freshness. You know exactly where it comes from and what goes into it. No more mystery pesticides or long-distance transportation. Imagine craving a salad and grabbing fresh lettuce, ripe tomatoes, a cucumber, and some herbs. Wash them off, and you have the freshest salad ever. Freshly picked produce just tastes better. The flavors are vibrant and delicious. Ditch the supermarket and step into your garden for the freshest ingredients. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, saving money. Growing your own food is like having a mini grocery store right outside your door, and it can do wonders for your wallet. Think about it. Those weekly trips to the supermarket for fresh produce can really add up. But when you grow your own, you're essentially cutting out the middleman and all those extra costs. Starting a garden doesn't have to break the bank either. You can start small with a few pots of herbs or tomatoes on a sunny windowsill. As you gain confidence and experience, you can gradually expand your garden. And here's a little secret. Gardening can be a fantastic way to use up kitchen scraps. Instead of tossing out those onion ends or pepper seeds, you can regrow them into new plants. Plus, you can save seeds from your harvest to plant next year, which means you won't have to buy new seeds every season. Talk about sustainable living. By growing your own food, you're not only saving money on groceries, but also investing in your health and well-being. It's a win-win situation. We all know that eating fruits and vegetables is crucial for our health. But did you know that homegrown produce is even more nutritious? When you grow your own food, you control what goes into it. No harmful pesticides, herbicides, or synthetic fertilizers here. You get to choose organic and natural growing methods, which means you're consuming the purest, most nutrient-rich food possible. Homegrown fruits and vegetables are packed with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that are essential for maintaining a healthy body. They can boost your immune system, protect against chronic diseases, and give you that natural energy boost we all crave. And because homegrown produce is so fresh, the nutrient content is at its peak. Unlike store-bought produce that might have traveled miles and sat on shelves for days or even weeks, your homegrown harvest is bursting with goodness. Plus, let's not forget about the satisfaction and sense of accomplishment that comes with growing your own food. Knowing that you've nourished your body with something you created from scratch is an incredible feeling. Chapter 4: Environmental Impact: Growing Green for a Healthier Planet. In a world facing environmental challenges, it's crucial to make sustainable choices. Gardening is a fantastic way to do just that. Growing your own food reduces your carbon footprint. By growing locally, you cut out food miles and emissions. Plus, gardening promotes biodiversity. Planting a variety of fruits, vegetables, and herbs creates a haven for pollinators. Organic gardening protects the environment and your health. Composting reduces waste and enriches your garden. Embrace gardening for a greener thumb and a greener planet. Chapter 5: Educational Experience: From Seed to Supper. Gardening isn't just about growing food, it's also about growing minds. It's an incredibly rewarding educational experience for people of all ages. For kids, gardening is like a hands-on science lesson. They get to learn about plant life cycles, the importance of soil, the role of pollinators, and so much more. Imagine their faces lighting up when they see a tiny seed sprout into a seedling and eventually grow into a plant bearing delicious fruits or vegetables. It's a magical transformation that sparks curiosity and a love for nature. And for adults, gardening can be a fantastic way to learn new skills, experiment with different plants and techniques, and deepen your connection with the natural world. Whether you're trying out a new composting method, learning about companion planting, or experimenting with different varieties of tomatoes, there's always something new to discover in the garden. So, grab your gardening gloves and let's turn our outdoor spaces into classrooms where learning grows alongside delicious food. Chapter 6: Taste, Experience, the Flavor of Homegrown. Let's talk about everyone's favorite part, the taste. Have you ever noticed how store-bought produce can sometimes taste bland or, dare I say, a bit disappointing? Well, get ready for a flavor revelation, because homegrown fruits and vegetables are in a league of their own. When you grow your own food, you get to choose from a wider variety of cultivars that you won't typically find in supermarkets. We're talking heirloom tomatoes bursting with sweetness, juicy strawberries with an intense aroma, and carrots that actually taste like carrots. And because your produce is allowed to ripen fully on the vine, it develops a depth of flavor that's simply unmatched. No more picking fruits and vegetables prematurely for transport. You get to enjoy them at their peak of ripeness and flavor. Trust me, once you've tasted the difference that homegrown makes, you'll never look at a supermarket tomato the same way again. Chapter 7: Physical Activity: Sowing the Seeds of Fitness. Who needs a gym membership when you have a garden, right? Gardening is a fantastic way to get some exercise, fresh air, and sunshine, all while growing delicious food. From digging and planting to weeding and watering, gardening engages various muscle groups, helping to improve your strength, flexibility, and cardiovascular health. And the best part, it's a low-impact activity that people of all ages and fitness levels can enjoy. Whether you have a small balcony garden or a sprawling backyard plot, there are gardening tasks to suit everyone. Think of it as a workout where you get to eat the rewards. Every time you harvest a basket of fresh vegetables or a handful of juicy berries, you're reaping the benefits of your hard work and physical activity. In today's fast-paced world, finding moments of peace and tranquility is essential for our mental well-being. And guess what? The garden can be your sanctuary. There's something incredibly therapeutic about digging in the soil, tending to plants, and watching them grow. It's a mindful activity that allows you to escape the stresses of daily life and connect with nature. The sights, sounds, and smells of a garden can have a calming effect on the mind, reducing anxiety and boosting your mood. The gentle breeze rustling through leaves, the buzzing of bees, and the sweet scent of flowers create a sensory experience that's both grounding and uplifting. And let's not forget about the sense of accomplishment that comes with gardening. Watching a tiny seed transform into a flourishing plant is incredibly rewarding and can boost your self-esteem and confidence. So step into your garden, take a deep breath of fresh air, and let the worries of the world melt away. Chapter 9. In an increasingly uncertain world, having access to fresh, healthy food is more important than ever. Growing your own food provides a sense of security and self-reliance that's truly empowering. When you have a garden, you're less reliant on supermarkets and long supply chains that can be vulnerable to disruptions. You have the ability to provide for yourself and your family with nutritious food, no matter what challenges the world may throw your way. Imagine the peace of mind that comes with knowing you have a steady supply of fresh fruits, vegetables, and herbs right outside your door. It's a feeling of resilience and independence that's hard to beat. Plus, gardening skills are incredibly valuable and can be passed down through generations. By teaching future generations how to grow their own food, we're creating a more sustainable and food-secure future. Chapter 10. Gardening isn't just a solitary pursuit. It can also be a wonderful way to connect with your community and build lasting friendships. Community gardens are popping up everywhere, providing a shared space for people to come together, grow food, and learn from each other. It's a fantastic way to meet like-minded individuals who share a passion for gardening and sustainable living. And even if you don't have a community garden nearby, you can still connect with fellow gardeners through online forums, social media groups, or local gardening clubs. Share your successes, seek advice, and swap seeds or extra produce with others who understand the joys and challenges of gardening. Imagine the sense of camaraderie as you share gardening tips, swap recipes using homegrown ingredients, and celebrate each other's harvests. It's a beautiful reminder that we're all connected through our love of nature and good food. So there you have it, 10 amazing benefits of growing your own food. From freshness and flavor to cost savings and community building, gardening is an incredibly rewarding experience that enriches our lives in countless ways. I hope this video has inspired you to start your own gardening journey, no matter how big or small your space may be. Remember, every little bit counts, and even a single potted herb plant can bring joy and fresh flavor to your life. Tell us what you think in the comments and like and subscribe. Happy gardening! Hello, and welcome to the Great North Gardener. Whether you have a massive garden or a small flat, we'll show you how to grow anything in containers. Over these next 10 tips, we're going to transform you from a clueless plant killer to a certified green-thumbed god or goddess. So grab yourself a cuppa, get comfy, and let's get growing. All right, let's talk pots. First things first, you gotta pick the right size container for your plant babies. A good rule of thumb is to choose a pot that's about 2 inches larger in diameter than the root ball of your plant. When it comes to the type of container, you can go wild. Just make sure they have drainage holes. Trust me, soggy roots are not your friend. Okay, so you've got your pot sorted. Now it's time to talk about the good stuff. The potting mix. Think of it this way. The potting mix is like the food for your plants. Look for a potting mix that's specifically designed for container gardening, as it'll have the right balance of drainage and moisture retention. Avoid using garden soil in your containers. It's too heavy, doesn't drain well, and can harbor pests and diseases. Stick to a good quality potting mix and your plants will be singing your praises. All right, let's talk drainage. This is super important, guys. Make sure your pot has drainage holes. If your pot doesn't have drainage holes, you can easily drill some yourself. Next, add a layer of drainage material to the bottom of your pot before you add the potting mix. This could be anything from gravel to broken pots or even packing peanuts. Right, watering. It's an essential part of gardening, but it can be quite tricky to get just right. This is probably one of the trickiest aspects of container gardening. Too much water can drown your plants, while too little can leave them parched and struggling. The key is to find a happy medium. You want to keep the soil consistently moist but not waterlogged. Stick your finger about an inch into the soil. This simple test can tell you a lot about the moisture level. If it feels dry, it's time to water. Dry soil can cause your plants to wilt and become stressed. If it feels moist, hold off for a bit. Overwatering can lead to root rot and other issues. When you do water your plants, make sure you water them deeply until the water drains out of the drainage holes. This ensures the roots get enough water. Try to avoid getting the leaves wet, as this can lead to fungal diseases. Wet leaves are more susceptible to mold and mildew. It's also a good idea to water your plants in the morning, as this gives them time to absorb the water before the heat of the day. Morning watering helps prevent evaporation and keeps your plants hydrated. Okay, so we've talked about giving our plants the right home and the right amount of water, but they also need food. And that's where fertilizer comes in. Think of fertilizer as a multivitamin for your plants. There are loads of different types of fertilizer out there, but a good all-purpose fertilizer is a good place to start. The best time to fertilize your container plants is during the growing season, which is typically spring and summer. Just follow the instructions on the fertilizer packaging, and don't over-fertilize, as this can actually harm your plants. Right, let's talk about everyone's favorite star, the sun. Just like us, plants need sunlight to thrive, but different plants need different amounts of sunlight. Some plants are sun worshippers and need at least 6 hours of direct sunlight a day, while others prefer a bit of shade. How do you know how much sunlight your plant needs? It should say on the plant label, or you can always do a quick Google search. Once you know how much sunlight your plant needs, you can find the perfect spot for it in your home or garden. Alright, let's talk about pruning. Think of it as giving your plants a haircut. It helps them to stay healthy and looking their best. Plus, pruning can actually encourage your plants to grow bushier and produce more flowers. When you do prune, make sure you use sharp, clean pruning shears to avoid damaging the plant. Don't be afraid to give your plants a good prune. They're tougher than you think. Alright, let's talk about those pesky pests. Unfortunately, where there are plants, there are often pests. But don't worry, there are loads of things you can do to keep them under control. First things first, prevention is key. Make sure you're checking your plants regularly for any signs of pests. And if you do see any, deal with them straight away before they have a chance to multiply. You can use things like insecticidal soap, neem oil, or even just a strong blast of water to get rid of pests. Alright, let's talk about seasonal care. As the days get shorter and the temperatures drop, it's crucial to prepare your garden for the winter months ahead. Just like we have to adjust our wardrobes for the changing seasons, we need to do the same for our plants. This means rearranging your garden layout and making sure each plant is in the right spot to thrive during the colder months. In the winter, most plants go dormant, which means they stop growing and need less water and fertilizer. This dormancy period is essential for their survival, allowing them to conserve energy until spring. You might also need to protect your plants from frost, especially if you live in a cold climate. Frost can damage or even kill sensitive plants, so taking preventive measures is key. You can do this by bringing them indoors, covering them with a frost blanket, or moving them to a sheltered spot. Each of these methods helps to shield your plants from the harsh winter conditions. In the spring, when the weather warms up, you can start to gradually acclimatize your plants to the outdoors again and increase their watering and feeding schedule. This transition period is crucial for their healthy growth and blooming. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, but the most important thing is to relax, have fun, and don't be afraid to experiment. Gardening is a journey, not a destination, and every step you take is a learning experience. Gardening is all about trial and error, so don't be afraid to try new things and see what works for you. Mix and match different plants, play around with colors and textures, and let your creativity flow. Not every plant is going to thrive in every environment, so don't beat yourself up if a plant doesn't make it. It's all part of the process. Sometimes plants just need a little more time or a different spot in the garden. Just learn from your mistakes and move on. Keep a gardening journal to track what works and what doesn't. This will help you make better decisions in the future. The best way to learn is by doing, so get out there, get your hands dirty, and start growing. Feel the soil, understand its texture, and connect with the earth. Gardening is supposed to be enjoyable. Share the experience with family and friends and make it a fun activity for everyone. It's a great way to de-stress, connect with nature, and add a bit of life and color to your surroundings. So take a deep breath, enjoy the beauty around you, and happy gardening. So there you have it, my top 10 tips for growing plants in containers. I hope you found this video helpful, and that you're feeling inspired to get out there and start growing your own little green oasis. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more gardening tips and tricks. Happy gardening, everyone. Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Great North Gardener. Today we're talking about those pesky garden pests and how to get rid of them naturally. We'll be looking at plants that invite in helpful insects and send those annoying critters running. So, grab a cuppa, get comfy, and let's turn your garden into a beautiful haven. First up, we've got aphids. These tiny insects might seem harmless at first glance, but don't be fooled. They are one of the most common and destructive pests in the garden. Aphids can be green, black, brown, or even pink, and they multiply rapidly. These little guys might be small, but they can really mess up your plants by sucking out their juices. They feed on the sap of plants, which weakens them and can lead to stunted growth. You might notice a sticky substance called honeydew on the leaves, which can attract other pests and lead to sooty mold. If you see curled or misshapen leaves, you might have an aphid problem. The damage they cause can be quite severe, leading to yellowing leaves and even plant death if left untreated. It's important to act quickly to save your plants. But don't worry, marigolds give off a smell that aphids hate, so planting a few can work wonders. Marigolds are not only beautiful, but also serve as a natural repellent. Their strong scent confuses aphids and keeps them away from your precious plants. You can also invite ladybirds to the rescue by planting dill, fennel, and yarrow. They love to munch on aphids. Ladybirds, or ladybugs, are natural predators of aphids and can help keep their population in check. By creating a welcoming environment for these beneficial insects, you can protect your garden naturally. Next, let's talk about slugs and snails. These slippery critters come out at night and leave holes in your plants and shiny trails behind. One way to stop them is with copper tape. It gives them a little electric shock that sends them packing. Another trick is the beer trap. Just sink a shallow dish filled with beer into the ground. Slugs and snails can't resist a good brew. Now, let's move on to whiteflies. These tiny winged insects are often found on the underside of leaves, where they feed on plant sap. Despite their small size, they can cause significant damage to your garden. These tiny insects might be small, but they can cause big problems by sucking the sap from your plants, turning the leaves yellow and making them fall off. This not only weakens the plant, but can also lead to stunted growth and reduced yields. Whiteflies are particularly problematic in warm climates and greenhouses, where they can reproduce rapidly. Yellow sticky traps are great for catching whiteflies before they can do too much damage. These traps work by attracting the whiteflies to the bright yellow color, where they get stuck on the adhesive surface. It's a simple yet effective method to control their population. You can even make your own with yellow cardboard and petroleum jelly. Just cut the cardboard into small pieces, coat them with petroleum jelly, and hang them around your garden. This DIY solution is cost-effective and easy to implement. And remember to keep your garden tidy. Whiteflies love to hide in debris. Regularly cleaning up fallen leaves and plant material can help reduce their hiding spots and prevent infestations. A well-maintained garden is less likely to suffer from whitefly problems, ensuring your plants stay healthy and vibrant. Spider mites are tiny pests that weave fine webs over your plants. These minuscule arachnids are often hard to spot with the naked eye, but their damage is unmistakable. They puncture plant cells to feed, leaving behind a trail of destruction, and suck the life out of them. The leaves may turn yellow, dry out, and eventually fall off if the infestation is severe. This can significantly weaken the plant, making it more susceptible to other diseases and pests. To keep them at bay, make sure your plants are well watered. Spider mites thrive in dry conditions, so maintaining adequate moisture levels is crucial. Regular watering helps keep the plant's natural defenses strong and give them a regular misting to keep the air humid. High humidity levels can deter spider mites, as they prefer dry environments. Misting your plants not only helps with humidity, but also can physically remove some of the mites. Neem oil is a fantastic natural solution. It's derived from the seeds of the neem tree and has been used for centuries as a natural pesticide. Just mix a tablespoon with a liter of water. This mixture can be used as a foliar spray to target spider mites directly and spray it on the affected plants. Make sure to cover all areas where the mites might be hiding. Don't forget to get both the tops and undersides of the leaves. This ensures that you reach all the mites, as they often hide on the undersides of leaves. Regular application can help keep your plants healthy and spider mite free. Caterpillars can be a real pain, munching their way through your precious plants. You can pick them off by hand and get rid of them, or use Bacillus thuringiensis, BT, a type of bacteria that only harms caterpillars. BT is safe and effective, stopping caterpillars from eating and eventually getting rid of them. Just follow the instructions on the label. Japanese beetles are shiny, metallic pests that love to skeletonize leaves, leaving them looking full of holes. Planting garlic, chives, and onions can help keep them away. You can also use pheromone traps to attract and trap male beetles, which reduces their population over time. Just make sure to place the trap strategically so you don't attract even more beetles at first. Mealybugs are sap-sucking pests that have a white, waxy coating. You can dab them with a cotton swab dipped in rubbing alcohol to dissolve their coating and dry them out. For bigger infestations, insecticidal soap can do the trick. Just remember to test any spray on a small part of your plant first to make sure it doesn't cause any damage. Squash bugs can be a nightmare for your squash plants, causing the leaves to wilt and die. Row covers are a great way to create a barrier between your plants and these pests. Just drape the row cover over young plants and secure the edges with soil or rocks. Once the plants start to flower, remove the covers so they can be pollinated. Thrips are tiny insects that pierce leaves and flowers, causing significant damage. Blue sticky traps are a good way to keep an eye on and control thrips effectively. Insecticidal soap or neem oil can also be effective. Just make sure to spray thoroughly, covering both the tops and undersides of the leaves, as thrips love to hide underneath the leaves. So there you have it, 9 common garden pests and natural ways to keep them under control. Remember to be watchful, stay ahead of the game, and be proactive, and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Happy gardening, everyone. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.